I'm Faye Renee, your new favorite non-binary sexpert. This is my podcast, Positively Sexy. I'm a queer sex coach and sex educator that loves to learn about everything sex. In this podcast, we talk about sexual affirmations, dating, sexual wellness, and being your best sexy self. Together, we can give you the sex life you've always wanted. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Positively Sexy. First of all, I would like to apologize for my absence the last couple of weeks and you guys not getting new episodes or anything. I was kind of busy. I did have to go home, and then when I came back, I just haven't been able to get back into my regular routine, but I think we're back on schedule. I think we're back on track, and I'm going to try to stay consistent from now on. So I have my iPad with me. Sorry if I'm looking down. You guys know this is also a video podcast as well as an audio podcast. For those of you who are watching me on video, sorry if I'm looking down. It has all of my notes and I don't want to miss any points. So I am very excited for today's episode based on the fact that I have this podcast, and if you know me in real life, you know that I love everything sex. I love everything sex education. I'm always willing to learn something. So it would be safe to assume the same goes for orgasms. And that's what today's episode is on. Orgasms. Well, non-conventional orgasms. Orgasm that a way that you probably never tried it before, or you may never even heard of some of these things before. I have been interested in hands-free orgasms ever since I was able to give myself one by accident. And now I'm obsessed, and I truly believe that everybody can have a hands-free orgasm. Like, I don't think that this is something that you can't do if you have a disability, or like you don't even have to touch genitals, because like even if you have trauma related to your genitals, you don't even have to touch them. I feel like there's a version of hands-free orgasms that everybody can do. If you don't think that you can do it one way, I guarantee you there's another way that you can do it. There are different options. There are different methods. You just got to find the method that works for you, and hopefully maybe today you will find that method. So a hands-free orgasm is basically like a general umbrella term for orgasms that you have without using your hands. It's extremely broad of a term, and anyone can have one because there's so many ways to have hands-free orgasm. I'm gonna name some, and I bet you won't even think like, oh yeah, that technically is hands-free. So one of the most common ways to have hands-free orgasms is by grinding or humping something or someone, like a stuffed animal or the side of a chair. Like, those of us who were born with vaginas, I don't know if this isn't something that I personally did as a child, but I learned from a lot of other people that they were rubbing up against a stuffed animal and didn't even realize that it was sexual because they were like 5. It just felt good. Or on the edge of a couch or your bed. Like, some people with penises might hump their bed or stuff like that. They also have sex toys that are actually specifically designed to be ground on or humped. They have bumps or raises on it, textures to be ground on. You grind your body against it. Or we all know about the Fleshlight brand or pocket pussies that people with penises tend to use to simulate vaginal intercourse or anal intercourse, or even, but they have mouths too. Some of them are just holes. I used to work in a sex store, so I've seen a variety of them. So you wouldn't even think that doing something like that is considered a hands-free orgasm. But it is, because you're not even using your hand. I mean, you might use your hand to hold the toy in place, but a lot of them have suction cups. And this doesn't even have to be against an inanimate object. This can be against someone's leg, someone's face. Hands-free. A lot of sex toys are actually surprisingly hands-free, and there is a wide variety of hands-free sex toys. I was talking about the ones that you can grind against, but there's also the ones that are like Bluetooth enabled, the panty vibes, the what is it, the Lovins? I really should remember, but I worked at the sex store like a year ago. I really don't remember that much. But the Lovins toy, the ones that you can stick it on your panty and it vibrates your panty, or you stick it inside of you. The brand Lovin's has a Bluetooth toy that is insertable. I saw Adam and Eve actually has a toy that magnetically attaches to your underwear, so it's like against you, not actually inside of you. And most of these toys have become, Bluetooth toys specifically, have become increasingly popular in the last couple of years. I think it's come from that movie, the 50 Shades of Grey movies. I think that's where the popularity came from. Or at least that's what my clients when I worked at the store would tell me. That's where they would get the idea from. But also probably like magazines. And it probably just goes hand in hand with like technology getting more and more advanced. Of course, we'll let sex toys advance with it. But some more that aren't even Bluetooth enabled would be a suction cup dildo. You suction it to the wall, you suction it to the floor. Or a vibrating cock ring, or toys like the Sybian. If you don't know what the Sybian is, there's another one, I can't remember the name of it, but they're basically the same thing. It's like a big old box, right? And you sit on it and it just intensely vibrates. They also have like insertable toys and stuff. Some of them thrust and stuff, but I think most of them are like the intense vibration ones. They do have the ones that, in fact, I'm pretty sure Sybian does actually have one that also like goes in and out for insertion. All hands free though. I will say the Sybian is not an average sex toy. I don't want anybody thinking they can go out to any sex store and find a Sybian. You won't. My store had a version of it. It wasn't the Sybian brand name, but we had a version and it sold fast. It sold real fast by a content creator though. A regular customer didn't come in and get that. That's not the kind of toy that a regular customer, well, I mean, do you, boo-boo, but maybe you should start making money off of it if you can handle that kind of toy. Let me get back on track though. Another example of a hands-free orgasm would be the attachment to your shower head, using the attachment to your shower head. I'm not really into that kind of sensation. I do know a lot of vulva owners who do enjoy the shower head, and you can get that at Walmart. You can get that at Home Depot. Like, it doesn't always have to be an actual sex toy. So the way that I found out about hands-free orgasms was one day I was a little under the influence, and it wasn't alcohol because I'm not a drinker. Well, I drink some socially, but I was by myself at home, so I was partaking in some recreational activities. And I don't know why, but I just started squeezing like my upper thigh muscles and doing Kegels. And it didn't happen automatically, but for whatever reason, I just kept on going because I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. And then bam, like 20 minutes later, I had like the best orgasm of my life. And I was like, oh my God, I've honestly been chasing after that feeling again. You know how like you have your very first orgasm with like a sex toy, like a bullet or something like that. And you're like, oh my God. And you're chasing after it for the rest of your life. It'll never be the same as the first time. But that's a way. And not just vulva owners can do this. You can have this, you can do the same thing if you have a penis. Some penis owners don't realize that they are doing Kegels. Like, if you cut off your urine while you're peeing, that's the same muscles you use when you do Kegel exercises. But it's like upper thighs and Kegels, and depending on your anatomy, I can't say that this will work for everybody, but depending on your anatomy and how your body works with these types of sensations, it can actually be very enjoyable. There's something else that has been going around on TikTok, I've noticed, but I already knew that this is a form of orgasm because I work out kind of regularly, off and on regularly, but I work out, and it's called a coregasm. And it's possible for anybody to have a coregasm, which is essentially just a core orgasm, but it is more common for vulva owners to experience this. So basically, you're doing core focused exercises and you can just experience an orgasm. It's just because of the way that you're like, a lot of it, you're pulling your core in, you're flexing those muscles, and things just happen sometimes. Just like you can have an orgasm from other ways. You can have like a nipple orgasm. If your ears are really sensitive, you can have an ear orgasm. Like, I used to date this girl that could have orgasms from her belly button. Like, you wouldn't even have to go too far down. Like, her stomach was good enough. And so it's possible to have core, and I'm sure she probably was having core orgasms regularly too. She was also a gym head, a gym rat. I don't know. I also like to work out. So those aren't exactly the orgasms that I'm going to dive into today, but I just wanted to introduce you to those before I introduce you to these, because they seem a little more unorthodox. You may not have heard of any of these or even done any of these, so it might seem a little strange, and I don't want to scare you because it's not scary. These are all very gentle. They do not involve touching yourself if you don't want to. They don't involve sex toys. I will say though, with these, practice makes perfect with these, and it may not be something that you might be able to do straight off the bat, because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't able to do these on my first attempt. It did take a few times practicing, trying to really hone in and focus on my body and what I enjoy, and I'm just gonna get into this. So I wanted to say all of that to give you like a general understanding of what we're going to be diving into, because it's not necessarily, we aren't going to exactly talk about those types of orgasms that I mentioned up there using toys or the orgasm. We're not going to be talking about how to do those, but I did just want to, you know, lead you into this discussion, maybe help open your mind a little bit to a little more what might seem strange or unorthodox ways to have orgasms. So the first orgasm we're going to talk about is an energy orgasm. So an energy orgasm is a tantric and spiritual practice and does involve chakra work. If you don't already know about chakras, you might want to do a little bit of research a little bit. This one is going to hit every chakra point on its way up. So you might want to do a little bit of a background reading if you don't know the chakras already, or if you don't understand it, or you've even never heard of them. I promise you though, this is not demonic, because I know that a lot of, specifically Black people, we were just raised, most of us were raised Christian, and anything that involves spirituality is the devil, and that's what's taught to us. A lot of us need to unlearn that. I'm one of the people who have unlearned that, because just as a culture, maybe we should just do a little more research on our ancestors and the spiritual practice that they practiced before we were taught Christianity. That's all I'm gonna say on that point. But so this does involve spiritual work. That's all I want you to know, so you don't go out and be like, she had me introduce a demon into my body. No, I didn't. I helped you have an amazing orgasm. So energy orgasms can be done solo or partnered. I would definitely recommend, with these two orgasms that I'm going to talk about, try it by yourself first and then introduce a partner. But if you don't already know about tantric practices, they can be really powerful with another person. So it does help to practice on yourself first to know how you can get through it, because everybody's experience isn't the same with these. Like I said earlier, this can all be done by anyone. Like you don't have to have a certain body shape, a certain body type. You don't have to be a certain gender. It doesn't matter if you have any internal or external disabilities or anything like that. This can be done if you just have to practice and train your mind to do it. Like I said earlier, there's no need for sexual contact. You don't have to touch your genitals. No one has to touch your genitals. You don't even have to touch yourself at all. Your hands can be off to the side. No one has to touch anybody. And that's something I really like about these, because as someone who's experienced sexual assault, I can understand and honestly still have a little bit of trauma towards my genitals when it comes to other people. So I understand maybe someone has trauma towards their genitals even if they touch themselves. So I like these because they're hands-free and quite inclusive. Also with this technique, it's multi-orgasmic. So you can have multiple orgasms over and over and over again. Even if you're a penis owner, multiple orgasms over and over and over again. You have to practice to get there, but it's possible. So energy orgasms can feel strong or they can be gentle. It can feel like electricity tingling all throughout your body, and there will be a release. It will also feel differently than a genital orgasm. So don't go into it expecting it to feel exactly like how you're used to all of your orgasms feeling. This is a different type of orgasm, so it will feel different. This practice, because it is tantric, because it is spiritual, it does require visualization and being in tune with your own sensations in your body. If you don't feel the orgasm on your first attempt, don't be discouraged. Don't think, well, I will never be able to have it this way. Don't think that. Most people aren't good at something the first time that they try it. That doesn't mean you should give up. It means you should just keep on practicing it until you get the desired outcome that you want from it. And even if you don't receive that orgasm, this kind of breath work and inner work is great for releasing your own trauma or emotional blockages that you may have inside of your body that you may not even know that you have. So I'm gonna run down the steps of how to have an energy orgasm. It's a lot of steps. But I wanted to help you all in case you wanted to go home and try this after you listen to this podcast. I will say you do need to be open-minded and you have to believe this will work for you. Nothing's gonna work if you sit there with a negative mindset. So you're gonna lay down with your knees bent where they are comfortable, like in a butterfly position. It doesn't have to be fully up close to your body. It's wherever your body is comfortable in that position. This can be on your bed or on soft carpet. You can do it sitting or standing, but I definitely recommend, if this is your first time doing this, if you're not experienced at this, you should definitely lay down. That way you don't fall over. That way you're more likely to reach your desired outcome. You're gonna take a few deep breaths and try to clear your mind of all of the distractions. Feel your tension melt away and essentially just melt into your bed. You're gonna begin taking deeper breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you can. If you're like me, a person who has respiratory issues, it can be very difficult for us to breathe through our nose. Breathe through your mouth. But if possible, breathe through your nose, out through your mouth. You're going to arch your back on the inhale and flatten it on the exhale, rocking your pelvis. You don't have to overarch, just gentle rise and fall, up and down. Now you're gonna squeeze your muscles as if you're doing a Kegel or trying to cut off your pee stream. Squeeze them on the exhale. So you're gonna breathe in, and as you're exhaling, squeeze. But don't squeeze too hard. This is when you may start to feel some stimulation. It is normal and encouraged to let your legs bow off to the sides, like I said, in the butterfly position. This can be both relaxing and erotic for you. So this is where the visualization comes in. You're going to visualize a small fire starting in your genitals. It's going to be in between your genitals and your anus. I called it the taint, but I'm pretty sure there's a better word for that. A little more scientific, but you know what I'm talking about, that little space. Start there. It's not going to be burning hot. Think of it more of burning with passion. You're going to let it circulate between your genitals and your anus, letting it grow brighter and stronger. Then you're gonna slowly bring the fire up from your genitals to your belly button. And you're going to circle it from your genital to your belly button. You're going to continue the breathing that we were doing earlier. In through your nose, out through your mouth, squeezing on the exhale. Your pelvis still rocking back and still arching and going down. You may again start to feel the warmth, and you'll start to feel it in your stomach as you continue the circular motion. Keep going up and down until you feel that burning energy in your stomach. Now you're going to bring the fire from your belly button to your heart, and you're going to circle it from your heart to your belly button, not all the way back down to your genitals, just from your heart to your belly button. And you're gonna circle it until you feel the same feeling in your stomach now in your chest. Then you're gonna continue with the circulation. You're gonna go from your heart to your throat, circling it. You may notice when you bring it up through your throat, you may notice that you're starting to make noises, not on purpose, but you may become audible, and that is okay. That's normal, that's safe. This is you opening up your throat chakra. So making noise is okay. In fact, it is encouraged. Not a lot of people actually know, but making noises can increase your orgasm and make your orgasm stronger. Now you're gonna bring the fire from your throat to the middle of your forehead. It's called your third eye. And you're gonna circle it just like you did the previous steps. Now, in this final step, you're gonna circle it from your third eye to the tip top of your head. And this is when you may feel, or this is when you're supposed to feel it. Practice makes perfect. You may not feel it on the first try, but this is when you will feel the energy release. It may feel like it's shooting straight out the top of your head. That's okay. That's a good thing. Go with it, because after that feeling, you will have your full body orgasm. You may have a variety of sensations and reactions after this relief. You may be laughing, crying, clenching your muscles, shaking, that's okay. It's all healthy and normal. It's all okay. It's okay to feel emotions during sex. It's okay to feel emotions during orgasms. As you practice this, you will be able to hold that orgasm for longer and longer. And this is what I mean when you'll be able to have those multiple orgasms. You'll be able to bring it back, do it again, make it longer and longer and longer. And this is how you have your multi-orgasmic experiences. So like I said, practice makes perfect, especially with this one. Practice makes perfect. I definitely was not able to do it on my first try. So I don't expect everyone to be able to do it on their first try. If you are, hey, look at you. You're more in tune with your body than most people are. So the next orgasm we're going to talk about is just breathwork orgasms, or breathing for better orgasms. This is another one that you can incorporate with yourself just as solo play, or you can do it with a partner. Breathwork is another tantric practice. So a lot of people may hold their breath while they're orgasming, which is normal. I've done it, but I had to unlearn that behavior because over time it can make it difficult for you to reach orgasm because you're trying too hard. You're holding your breath and you're trying to force it. No, in this one, we're not forcing it. We're gonna let it come to us naturally, right? So when you're breathing through the orgasm, you're going to breathe through your diaphragm so that you take bigger breaths. This will keep you from tensing up and allows your muscles to rest and stay soft. You will feel like you will want to tense up. Your body is naturally gonna want to tense up. Try to fight against it and try to keep yourself focused on your breathing, focused on staying relaxed and staying loose. Orgasmic breathing is similar to energy breathing in the way that you have to focus on your breathing in order to reach this orgasm. You are still focused on your breathing and the energy flowing through your body, just like with the energy orgasm. So instead of laying down this time, you are gonna sit upright. Still find a comfortable position. You can do it in a chair, you can do it sitting on a pillow, whichever you're more comfortable, but you're gonna do it sitting upright this time. You're gonna take a few deep breaths to get yourself ready, get yourself prepared. You're gonna take a few deep breaths to get yourself prepared, get yourself ready for this experience that you're about to have. And when you are ready, you're going to slowly breathe in through your mouth as if you are sucking through a straw. But do not release this breath. Unlike energy work, you are gonna breathe out and breathe back in. You're gonna through your mouth like you're breathing in through a straw. You're gonna go slowly though. So you're going to continue to sip the air slowly. Feel the energy pull up through your pelvic muscles as you begin to engage them as you're breathing in. So slowly as you're breathing in, draw in your pelvic muscles too, like you're doing the Kegel. For my video watchers, I apologize. My natural light is leaving me again. You're going to keep your pelvic muscles engaged and continue to breathe in as you pull that energy up through your spine. You're gonna feel it all the way up. You're going to pull in your lower abs and suck in your belly button like you're trying to touch it to your spine. You're going to draw your shoulders back and open your chest up. Now gently tuck your chin and lengthen the back of your neck and upper spine. When you can no longer pull in air, hold it with your pelvic and spinal muscles engaged. And when you are ready, open your mouth slightly. And as you breathe out, visualize the energy pouring over you like a waterfall. From the top of your head, cascading down the front of your body, softening each muscle on its way down. Now this isn't a roaring waterfall. It's nothing crazy. It's gentle, like shower, like rain. It's gentle. Once you have fully released your air, relax your neck, relax your shoulders, relax your stomach, and lastly, relax your pelvic muscles. Surrender your body to the energy. You're going to repeat this process until you are satisfied. When you are completely finished with your experience, you're going to remain seated in that position taking normal breaths for a few extra moments. You're going to feel a true surrender to that sexual energy. This may seem like a lot at first because there are multiple steps that you have to do at the same time, and that may discourage you. This may seem like a lot at first, or you may want to take a smaller step into orgasmic breathing. That is okay because there are a lot of steps that you had to do all at once. So there are a few methods to help you work up to this type of orgasmic breathing. One of the easiest methods is to begin counting your breathing. Inhale as you count to 5, exhale as you count to 5. And this will help you hold that breath longer. As I mentioned in this, you're going to be using diaphragm breathing. Like I mentioned with the orgasmic breathing method, you do have to engage and breathe through your diaphragm. Now, if you are a singer or you played an instrument that involved your mouth, you may already know how to breathe through your diaphragm. But not everybody has had the experience that we have had. So when you breathe through your diaphragm, you aren't sucking in your stomach. Your stomach is going to push out and in fact will become hard. So as you breathe in, you're feeling like you're filling your stomach with air is what it's going to start to feel like. But that's just where your diaphragm is. Your diaphragm sits underneath your lungs and above your stomach. So as you breathe in, you're going to contract your diaphragm, which is pushing your stomach out, not sucking it in. And as you breathe out, purse your lips like you were breathing through a straw, and your stomach will flatten back out. So you breathe in through your diaphragm. You can use your nose or your mouth. Like I said, those of us with respiratory issues, it can be difficult to breathe through our nose certain times. So these exercises, each one, the orgasmic breathing, the energy breathing, hands-free orgasms in general, can be done partnered or alone. However, it may be more helpful to work on this individually before bringing this with your partner. Honestly, both of you can do it individually and then come together once you realize how the sensations feel to you and they realize how the sensations feel to them, and then you can bring it together. I also cannot stress this enough that if you do not get it on the first try, do not give up. Don't feel discouraged. Keep practicing the techniques and methods until you reach your climax or desired euphoria, because sometimes orgasm isn't what everybody's looking for. These can also, like I said, both of these, because it's breath work, can help just release blockages and trauma that you may have in your life. You may have inside of your body that you don't even realize from childhood or something, or your teenage years, and you just need to release that blockage. These can help do that. It is also okay to modify in any way that you need to. So like I said, I have difficulty breathing through my nose because I have respiratory issues. So I don't typically breathe through my nose. I breathe through my mouth, and I was still able to do it. Sometimes you have to modify so that things work for you, because what works for one person may not work for the next person. We don't all have the same mind and body. So thank you again for listening to another episode of Positively Sexy. I really want you all to go out and try at least one of these. Even if you don't want to try the energy orgasms because you aren't that spiritual, or maybe you're just nervous about getting into it, start with the breathing exercise. Breathe in for 5, breathe out for 5. Or just start with a grinding toy, or even your shower head. Or even if you're just, like I said, not even into sex toys, use your partner. You can grind against your partner's leg, grind against their stomach, grind against their face. I'm just saying, try it. Go out there and try it. I dare you. Go find a new way to orgasm. Stop being boring. I don't know about y'all, but doing the same thing over and over and over again starts to get boring, you know? You need a little something different. You need to switch it up. And I recommend that. That's what I'm here for, to give y'all new ways to switch it up. Try something new. Experience something new. Feel something new, you know? So thank you again for watching and listening. Please subscribe to my podcast, Positively Sexy. You can leave a rating. I know now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts do allow you to rate. Please give me a rating. And Apple Podcasts does allow you to review, so please post a review as well. Share this with your friends. It may be helpful to them too. Or, it's February. It's Black History Month. Support Black people. I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Bye. This has been Positively Sexy with Faye Renee, your favorite non-binary sexpert. If you like this podcast, please rate it and share it with your friends. If you are interested in my coaching options, visit FAYETHEXPERT.WIXSITE. That's faythesexpert.wixsite.com/website. I'll see you in the next episode.